You.
Hi, Jen.
Who's the all white
Hi,
and
Jen.
orange one that
Hi,
walks
Jen.
across
Now I
the
can see
screen?
you. Hi, Jen.
Hi,
Tiger.
Peter.
That's
Tiger and
Tiger.
Clarence. Yeah.
Better.
Okay.
Thank you, Christina.
Clarence.
Nancy.
Hi,
How are
Hi,
you?
Nancy. Hi, Jan.
Hey, Nancy.
Hi, Alex.
Hi,
Hey,
Nancy.
Jan.
Jan,
Jan.
I think I had a dream about you. I just remembered when I'm looking at you. It was a good dream.
You had a dream about who?
You.
Hi,
Oh,
Nancy.
me?
You were there helping me. Thank you. I don't remember anything else. I thank
That's good
you.
enough.
Yeah, that was all I needed to know.
That sounds great.
Uh-oh, I gotta send a link to.
Hi, Noreen.
Where's our friend Julie
Hi,
and
Nuno.
Brian?
Hi,
Hi,
Julie.
Yuri.
Hi.
And Brian have their son and daughter out in Arizona, which is really, it's the first time they've been, like they're both actually there without any kids or siblings or kids or Calvin doesn't have his wife. So I don't know if they'll be on today because that's pretty special.
Oh, okay.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yay for
Nice to
them.
see Stephen here.
Yes, I will.
Yes.
Hi, Stephen.
Hello.
Hey, Stephen.
Happy birthday, Alfred.
Yeah, happy
Yes,
birthday,
Alfred.
Alfred.
Happy
birthday,
Happy day, Alfred.
Catherine's
Lee.
asking for the link.
Did I-
Hey, I like
Hi,
Catherine.
Judy.
Hi, Annie.
Hi.
Catherine is asking for the link.
Hi,
Thank
Debbie.
you.
Hi,
Hi.
Debbie.
Hi, Sideways Debbie.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New
Hi,
Year.
Debbie.
Debbie. Hi, Catherine.
Debbie.
And Catherine.
Hi,
hello.
Catherine.
Hey, Judy.
Hey.
Christina here today?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
She's
here.
right there.
Oh,
Debbie.
Albert was here too.
Hi, Catherine.
Debbie, can you turn your camera?
Debbie.
Oh,
There you
There
go.
you go.
There you go.
okay.
We have a new person, Tetra.
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 Okay. Wendy.
Hi, Tetra.
Hi, Tetra.
Welcome.
Tetra.
My name is
Deborah.
Oh,
Deborah.
Yes, my computer chose the name. I'll change it,
Hello,
Okay,
Deborah.
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 Hello, Deborah.
but it's not bad.
No.
You're Tino's friend, right? Deborah,
Deborah is my
Tino's
friend.
Hello,
yes.
everybody.
I thought I recognized
Hi,
you.
Deborah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was on for a while last time.
Yeah,
Welcome back, Deborah.
yeah. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hello,
Hi,
Donnie.
Catherine.
Carolyn.
Hi, Yuri.
Boy, I'm telling you, all the traveling lately.
Hi, Donna D.
Hi, Peter.
Hey, Donna.
Hey, Donna.
Hi,
Hi,
Jake.
Donna.
The only way to travel.
Hi, Nuno.
So we
I
have
don't know.
9 now. That's
Hi.
good.
We have
Hi,
29.
dear ones. I love you all.
We love you
Love
too,
you
Nuno.
very, very much.
Stephen, did you
Yeah.
get a haircut, Stephen?
I know.
You did? You cut some of your hair?
Oh, no, did I? No. Normally I
No?
just have it up,
Mm.
but
Okay.
we're closed today, so I don't need to,
Yay.
watch it for falling any food, or falling in any food.
Hi, Catherine. Hi there. Hi,
Hi, Herminia.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
Very good.
Hi, Armenia.
Hey, how you doing? Sending you a lot of love.
Thank you, dear. You too.
Thanks.
So
Shall we mute
the key
everyone?
message is Hermione, how are you? Didn't
Very-
see you. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
The key message, and this is validated by your magnificence, is that we're going to meet monthly because we have it simply now. One day you're going to wake up young. And that's all, hi Esther, it's all controlled by you. nobody else. So the faster you realize that it's only you, the faster you're gonna get young again. So if you spend a lot of time, like on Alex's email says, balance practice, balance practice, balance practice. And I know that she does 3 hours a day, but her day is expanded to full time. Because to not balance practice is not fun. It's not happy. Now, many of you are using your consciousness to attend these calls, and that won't work. You will stay old and die. But if you use your time daily, you won't. Before, there wasn't simplicity, there wasn't clarity. Now there is. So what you do totally affects what happens. And that's really cool from my point of view. That's the ultimate of simplicity. If you ask questions that come from your consciousness, you're not going to get answers. It's that simple. If you ask questions from your magnificence, you are going to get answers. They might not come right away because your magnificence may be working to help you learn something. And that'll be silent. But you'll learn it eventually. If it's something your magnificence is not queued up with for you, you get the answer immediately. I mean, so fast that you won't believe it. It won't be electrical. In electrical, there is a delay because your conscious brain, thought, and mind work on fear and falsity. And it's all to your benefit because eventually you learn that none of them count. Energy doesn't even count. It's why it's in small, it's not capitalized. So the bottom line is it's up to you, nobody else. And it's simple. You'll know that when you turn young, you not only have mastery of change and quantum, you have finished all, and you are now young endlessly. But if you don't change, it's not a birthright. It's a return to quantum. And what you know right now is what you know. Sure, you can drive yourself nuts with, well, if only I did this, and if only I did that, and if only I grew up in a different family. Sure, if. No ifs work. They never have. What have you done? What are you doing? That's what counts. And how will you know? Youth. 1 5-letter word. Youth. Everything needed is available. The most recent changes were made about an hour ago. And they're all at the top of the home webpage. So it couldn't be easier. And about half of you are going to go much faster because we are dropping from weekly to monthly. About half of you, I mean, that's amazing. So everybody on the call, and there are 30 of us now, 15 are going slower than necessary. The other half are making tremendous progress. So that's my message is simple. It is totally simple. And we are going to go faster because we are now moving to monthly. I mean, look at it the rest, another way. Who's going to help except for what, a couple hours a month? You and the people you talk to. And what are you mastering? Quantum, which you're returning to, and change, which started in Super Cycle 1000. That's when you started to differentiate yourself, because your experiences from every lifetime, they just add up and add up and add up. Many of you have picked up from myself is, was. It's is, because you're endless. It's not was. Judy wasn't Plato. Judy is Plato. Wendy isn't Wendy. Wendy is everything she's been, including Joan of Arc. Donna Day is one of the Mayan 10. Diana Lynn is one of the Mayan 10. Chile is one of the Mayan 10. She isn't was, she is. There is no was. Operate from consciousness, fear, thought, mind, brain. You'll deceive yourself all the time. Convince yourself that you don't need any change. Wow. Good luck with that one. So, questions? Don't stumble over each other.
It's gonna be a very short call.
See you next month. Oh,
Oh, Peter,
Yes.
this is Catherine. I have something to share. And it was my experience last Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And now it seems like that was a very long time ago. So much has happened. But I knew that was the time that Nell was going to have her appointment for her vaccine.
Right.
And I wanted to protect her from any ill effects of the vaccine. So I went out in my backyard on my patio, and I sensed something new. I sensed a change, but I didn't know what it was. So I was reaching for quantum strength, balancing, practicing, doing all those things. And then I connected with quantum singularity, quantum form, and all my quantum brothers and sisters, and felt the connection as I was sitting out on my patio. And I was feeling the warmth of the sun here in Arizona. So I thought, oh, I'll share that with everyone, because I know a lot of them were in cold climates with cold and snow. So I think I sent an emoji, and then I sent a little text. But when I saw your text that day, it said 10 a.m. cable car on Main ? And I was puzzled by that. I didn't know what it meant. And I thought it was maybe connected with the Broadmoor, but
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
Okay. And so, but then I saw the part from the Many of One page about our number 4 magnificence. And so that's why I connected with everybody. And then I thought, well, I'll share the warmth of the sun for everyone to enjoy. And for me, it was an amazing experience. I stayed out there for about half hour or 45 minutes in the sun. And it was a wonderful experience. But now, right before the show, I watched Yuri's. I started watching Yuri's amazing video, and I haven't even finished it. But anyway, I just wanted to share that, because now it seems like that was a long time ago last Wednesday. So thank you.
Well,
you, Peter,
thank
and everyone.
you. I'll share what happened. We went and Nell got the vaccine, and I said I wasn't going to do it. And so I said, well, it's going to take, to myself, probably going to take a couple weeks. And Nell had 3 choices. The day that she learned about it, the next day, which is what we did, and the following day, and there were no other choices. So my process was, well, you're a master, it's not going to affect you. And by doing it with Nell, I can help her. Now, we had different nurses administer. Mine was named Allison. We both finished at 9:53, exactly the same minute. when Allison stuck me in my left shoulder, she said, "So what are you going to do the rest of the day?" And I said, "Have fun and be happy." And that really caught her. And then when she stuck me, it didn't bleed. And she couldn't believe it because doing old people and they have blood thinners and they bleed, and sometimes for a long time. In my case, there was no blood. The pain was minimal. The smell was minimal. I noticed that the next morning. And there's been no loss of physical mobility. So, all cool. And Nell and I finished exactly in the same minute. So thank you, Catherine, for sharing the sunshine. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
Peter, I have a question.
Okay.
In your state, is everyone required to wear a mask if you go to the grocery store and stuff?
Yes.
So if you're vaccinated and have proof of receiving that, do you still have to wear the mask?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You're the first person I know that's gotten the shot.
Yeah. And to me, I've gone through the process, and the process was great.
Peter, isn't there a second shot? Like it's a series of 2 shots or no?
Yes. 28 days later, UC Health has already made the appointment at 10 o'clock. In many parts of the country, they're even debating whether to include this second shot. If you use Pfizer, it's 21 days. And if you use Moderna, it's 28 days. We already have the appointment at 10 o'clock. Around the world, they're even debating whether we can mix Pfizer and Moderna. It's an absolute travesty around the world. I also learned that it takes 12 days for Moderna. It takes 12 days for the antibodies to start to work. So, and remember, that's 28 days total. So that's another input. But your magnificence will tell you, if you're getting tricked, too bad. But if you know you have a good connection in that moment, ask your magnificence. Because that's the way it works. You will know when it's your magnificence. And eventually you will know if it's your conscious brain, mind, thought. But this takes, ready for the word, practice.
I would rather wait for the natural products to come out this year. No?
Diana, don't compare yourself to anybody else. Be your magnificence, not your consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
You will not have a sense of humor from your magnificence until you have mastery. So if there's a sense of humor involved, it's not your magnificence.
Sense of?
Okay.
Sense of? Humor?
Humor is
Okay.
eventually you're going to be your magnificence, and you will bring the humor. But that's going to come from you, the magnificent you, as opposed to pre-quantum you.
Hey, Dad, can you define magnificence? Because I'm not totally clear on what that means.
You're originally we know, then something new would have happened, and then we learned to balance. So we were a 1, 2, 3, no, new, balance. And then we went to multiples. The multiple is our magnificence. We're all the same, we're all equal with balance, but we're unique and special with the other parts. So you have no new balance multiples. And then the last, the 5, is quantum strength. And we didn't have quantum strength until June 1st, 2016. That took a lot of testing. And then final relief. Scotty. Hi, Scotty.
Christina, I would say, sorry, I would say that your magnificent is who you are, really.
Okay.
So, and my magnificent is who I really am.
Like almost like your higher self?
No, just who you are totally.
Okay.
Your higher self is it's a small part of the whole that you are, which is your quantum part and your magnificence. So when you reach for who you are, you're reaching for your magnificence, and eventually you'll become one with your magnificence.
Okay.
Chris, in your case, being a daughter, higher self would be adequate. But it doesn't bring in quantum.
Okay.
But your higher self is your magnificence. And we started with 3, we've gone to 5. The 3 were no, knew something new would happen, and we balanced it. Then we went to multiples, and that's our magnificence. And you and I and everybody else on this call, and everybody else, it is a magnificence. Not will be, is. But what's our tool that we're used to using? Fear, consciousness, false. Catherine sent around a beautiful email to all of us. Not one person responded to that because it dealt with beliefs. And what's the middle of beliefs? Lie. L-I-E, lie. You can capitalize it, you can small letter, But the point is belief is BELIEFE. It's where we get all our lies. And if we're told something long enough, we believe it, even though it's a lie. Does that all help? And quantum strength gives us a way of balancing that we never had before. And we didn't have it until June 1st, 2016. That's recent. Yet we knew we needed it after Super Cycle 5500. So it took us from 5,500 to now 14,500 to develop it. Now we have it. And it's there. We can use the balance, or we can continue to suffer. So that's what it boils into. Most everything, if any of you didn't want to read many of one, take 3 minutes and read the very top section. Forget the rest. Unless your magnificence says, well, you'll grow if you, and every single one of us will have a different, if you
So,
I
Peter,
have a question.
okay, go on.
I'm new today here, and I've been studying the page, and I'm intrigued. I would like to know a little bit more about the practice, the daily practice, because I read the page and I feel that I know the things that are there, but I don't have the words to express them. And I would like to know what about the daily practice, what we need to do.
It's different for everybody, Deborah. It's what you feel, but you will get it directly from your magnificence. And it will come so fast you won't believe it. You literally won't believe it because it'll be instant. And when we use our consciousness, we have a delay because our consciousness is electrical. Our magnificence uses quantum entanglement, and it's instant.
Peter, could
Yes.
you please repeat? I had my connection dropped. I didn't hear what you said.
You'd like me to repeat?
Could you please repeat? My connection dropped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your consciousness is electrical. It has automatic delay. Your consciousness, thought, brain, mind are all related, and they all have the electrical delay. Your magnificence uses quantum entanglement and is instant. It literally is instant because it already knows what your question is because it's you.
Okay, so there is a gap.
That's so important. Remember, 14,500 super cycles. all of them except one are basically 34 trailing zeros. They're really long. The one, it started June 1st, 2016 and finished after fully testing the February 25th, 2019. And I've even taken that out because it's not necessary. You are your magnificent, period. We have quantum strength, period. We've gone from 3 to 5. These are all things that any of us can relate to. And we can use our mind, consciousness, brain thought lies to keep us all confused, or we can embrace the simplicity. Who can't remember 5 things? Who can't add 2 things? All of us can. That's all we have to do. All this other stuff comes from the consciousness, the brain, thought, mind, consciousness. So it is so easy. It takes about 5 years to do the conversion. What happens if you skip a few days? Well, it takes 5 years plus skip a few days. What happens if you skip several years? Well, it takes 5 years plus skip a few years. It's up to you, nobody else.
So it's 5 continuous years.
Thank you.
That's what it takes. But
Okay.
if you take time off, the 5 years takes time off because there is no time, right?
Right. Thank you.
But I think she's asking, like, what do you do every day? Like, what would you be taking time off from? Like,
Exactly.
Um,
Practice.
Yes.
Yeah, practice and balance. I personally love Alex's email. It says balance, practice, balance, practice, balance, practice. When she started out, she did that and she did the 3 days. Now there's no gap.
Are you saying there's no particular formula, like that people need to do what they feel is correct? Whatever.
There is no formula.
And Deborah, I think what he's saying is if it feels right to you, do it. But if you have to think about it, it's not right.
Yes.
That if you know it's right, it comes to you instantly. But if you have to think about it, it's probably not the right thing. But I guess there is no formula.
Correct.
Is unique.
Thank you, Christina.
Sure.
It's that going through the page, I see, for example, there are those daily practices, and yeah, I ask, well, what do I do with the daily practice? Because, you know, as a new person studying the page, you have the feeling, but I don't have the understanding. Maybe it's because I'm going through the conscious, the mind. I'm trying to understand with my analytical perception that I'm still there, but there is this curiosity. So I thought that I would just ask the question.
Yeah, it's a great question, Deborah. And Christina, you did an awesome job helping to explain all of this. And what's most important is to recognize that we're returning to quantum. So our focus is on everything that is quantum. So it's on the quantum truths, understanding what those are and what they mean. And at the same time, we're also detecting where the false beliefs and the lies are, where the fear is, all the separation from one in oneness that comes from our consciousness, mind, thought, and belief. The thing that's hard for us to wrap around in is our time using our consciousness, mind, and belief is so small compared to the super cycles that we were in one without a body. We were one, you know, and so that is really helpful sometimes just to go like, okay, understanding or understanding as, you know, we like to truly call it, is that we are, you know, we are remembering, we are bringing back together the knowing, the, you know, no new balance. And then moving to come up with magnificence is we had to do that to leave one, to be able to experience oneness and to, you know, truly grow and develop. And so now we're able to return to quantum, which is like amazing. It's the most incredible thing. And you are a quick study because you've jumped into this, and you know, many of us have been doing this for a very long time. But like you said, there's a knowing, like, well, you know, I'm not sure. And that's your consciousness, not mind, thought, brain, ego, trickster questioning you. But the truth is you do really know. So trust in that. And like Christina said, when you connect and it feels good, you're there. When you're doubting, that's fear, false evidence appearing real, and that's you going into that separation. So do really recognize that's part of taking you out of your knowing. Does that help?
Thank you, Diana. Yes, very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So much, Deborah, for a wonderful question. I think it helps a lot of people, and Christina and Diana, awesome answers. Thank you. May I share one specific example of practice? Okay, so this is what I experienced recently. Okay, on December 31st, there was a quantum return call, which I missed. So I listened to it, and Peter shared with everybody that he chose to have a vaccine. Okay, so when I heard that, because before that conversation, before that sharing, Peter shared with us on the website that, you know, maybe it's not recommended to have a vaccine on the website. Okay, it will change your RNA, DNA. Maybe it's harmful. Okay, so when I heard that Peter allowed Nell to take the vaccine because she wanted, you know, his wife to take the vaccine, I thought, wow, Peter, that's wonderful. I mean, like, he's allowing somebody else to choose, right? I mean, like, it may be a difficult thing to do, knowing that the vaccine might be harmful, but he was allowing his wife to choose and let it go, right? So I thought that was like, wow, you know, like you need quite a bit of quantum strength to be able to allow that. So that was great. But when I heard Peter chose to take the shot himself, you know, when I listened to that, I went, wow, like, what the heck happened? I mean, you know, but then I caught myself immediately. This is part of the practice. And I thank God, you know, not the God, I'm sorry, thank quantum learning that Peter and everybody else have been sharing. I caught myself immediately. This is my, you know, mind talking here. Like, this is a bias. So I told myself immediately, no bias. Okay, so I have been saying that for a lot of time, you know, and when something happens, first thing I tell myself is no bias. Okay, let it go. And I have actually, because of Peter's sharing that he had the vaccine, I actually learned a lot from his sharing. Okay. No bias, like I got to practice once again, right? I got good at it, right? I respected Peter's choice, and I felt that the vaccine that he took for himself was safe. I felt that. And next day, I stumbled upon this video, which I shared with everybody, stating that, the vaccines that he most likely took was like a placebo, and, like it wasn't very harmful situation that is taking place. So it was a confirmation that the so-called vaccine is kind of safe. So that's what I have experienced. And I really do thank Peter for sharing his experience openly without having this consideration, if I share this, what other people might think, or, maybe everybody's gonna have bias, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't have any of that stuff. He's very honest, he's very truthful, and as a result, we're learning so much. Thank you. So that's what I wanted to share. So that's my example of practice.
Thank you, Yuri.
Thank you, Yuri. Thank you, Diana Caro. Thank you, Christina.
Peter.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah, and Deborah.
Deborah, yes.
Deborah, the
Hello?
practice is really to balance yourself. And balance is basically you're an observer unattached to anything or any outcomes. So if your ego and mind and others are engaged, you'll know you'll be off balance, you'll have anger, other negative emotions might show up, and how fast you can catch and transmute them using the common quantum strength is one way to start with practice. So, and that's really the practice of anything we do every day, because we could be, our ego can engage anytime and say, this is good, this is bad. And so it's like a waking practice. You just walk through life and not even think about anything. Just do what comes to you in that moment. Not, plan, have this plan, I'm going to go to this restaurant, and then it's closed. So then you have the tizzy of finding a new place, so all of that doesn't matter, just show up and do what you want, basically. So that's it. Thank you.
That sounds great.
Hello, Peter.
It is great.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello. Peter.
Yes.
Okay, this is Herminia. I was like Yuri said, I was listening the call that you had on the 31st. I find out like a couple hours later. I had to watch it like a 4th time to be able to grab it, because every time I miss something, I had to go back and forth. Any case, what I want to mention to you, for me, was a kind of very interesting that you were mentioning about like our family members, that if they had this part, and then we can have the opportunity to meet with them, and that they can have the opportunity to come back. And the interesting thing that today, this morning, about 4 o'clock, I was doing my meditation, and my connection in the morning. I crossed by one of the video about the guy from Russia. His name is Gregory Grabovoi. He teaching people about combination of number, frequency of number, and then what they teach to the group is like learning how to hear themselves, and they can practice about changing the weather, change the situation about humanity, is any area that is in danger, so violence, and they can concentrate and change the reality. And what came to me interesting was that you were mentioning on the 31st about like how we can do the resurrection and have this eternal life. And one of the things that they were mentioned in the video that I saw was like our development is endless, like you said. It's a never-end process of learning and develop ourselves. And they teach about the body can be rebuilt, and resurrection and external life is our body's reality. And in the beginning, when you mentioned that we can review our body, inside me, I had a knowing that it's not like that. However, it was like a moment where my mind was trying to show me why it's not true. And the thing is, like right now, long times ago, I have accepted something like a real. And then my question was, how we can teach other people that this really a reality, that we can preserve our body forever. We can transform our body, we can rebuild our body. And listening to this video, and then how they explain that even family members that has left, we can meet with them again, and then they can coming back. And some people that has experience, it was a guy, he did the experience that he went through the death process for 40 minutes. However, he's managed to come back to his body, and then his body was completely rebuilt. I mean, all his organs became like a 30-year-old man. And that moment, I was just thinking about you when you were talking about that we can rebuild our body, that you were asking for be 33-year-old, and then, all your organs to become like a younger. And another thing that they were mentioned too is like humanity having sick in the mind, and human being having hammered the idea that everything had to be accomplished with suffering. And you always said that quantum is easy. It's just that we have to accept that it's easy. And because if we're coming out of the looking for the connection with magnificence, is like an instant connection and instant knowing, and that it doesn't have to be complicated. However, because we have been so programmed for so honest time that everything had to be complication, and then we have to go through the hard work to do anything. With quantum, it's just the opposite. It's just like allowing and growing and balance and practice and balance and practice. And another thing that they talking about with the happiness is an endless development. And I really I'm grateful for that call from the 31st, because like my magnificent guiding me, like reinforce, what you were talking in the phone on the call on the 31st. And I want to really thank you and everybody to participate. Because every time I hear something from you, one of you call, I instantly, maybe a couple days, a couple hours, I find something where I can reinforce what you just said. And that's why I appreciate that you say it's equal. However, everybody had a way how to become quantum in the process. And it's just a practice and balance. And we are guided for our magnificence. What the best way for each individual. And that is a very great thing for me. And thank you for everybody coming together in this quantum entanglement. Thank you so much.
Well, Hermione, there's one other piece, and I'm going to add a couple words to the first page, but we also, when we're using our conscious, develop a separate body.
Mm-hmm.
And when we return to quantum, we return to one body that we all share.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets confusing if you let it, but I'm going to figure out how. So, for example, that child, 5 years old, right? Did you had last time? Didn't you have a 5-year-old child?
Oh, that was my little
Anna.
cousin.
Right. Well,
she's really 4-year-old, but she's amazing.
Yeah, he is. And he's right now, he just is. He doesn't think of it as a morphogenetic field, it's the do field. It's where we do things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to add a couple words to make clear.
Mm-hmm.
when we're using our brain, thought, mind, consciousness, we're using also a separate body, the illusion of a separate body. When we return to quantum, we return using one body that we all share.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And I'll add that, that'll help.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like we have to be immersed in this love. It's like a feeling like you are in the ocean and everybody is inside in the ocean and is feeling the same love, because the ocean is feeling the same love. No matter what side in the ocean you are, we are inside in the ocean, everybody. It's like, it's very interesting when that had that feeling. It's like you want everybody has that feelings because everybody is feeling the feeling.
And at Harry's, there were 46 of us. And it was November of 2014. And we all felt quantum love for the first time then.
Yeah.
And it was universal. It just was something none of us had ever experienced. Now, when you read, there's actually a love with a vibration. And that was developed about 300 super cycles ago. There's no comparison to that love with energy to love beyond energy. And we have it two different ways. We have balance, love, and positive. There's no energy. And then we have the love with energy that was developed about 300 super cycles ago.
Yeah.
And it can't compare to love beyond energy.
Yeah.
So that's the other piece.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Deborah, if it helps, I don't always understand what Dad is talking about. I'm his daughter, but I find that when I listen, that a lot of times it comes to me later, like something will happen and the words will pop into my head and I know what to do. So don't worry if you don't always understand it initially, because I feel like it works in the background. It's like a background programming, and then something will happen and you're like, oh, I get it. So, and I've been with him for a long time. So.
Okay. Thank you. I'll get it. It will come.
The other thing
Thank
is
you.
these calls are all recorded and you can go back years if you want to. And every time you listen to them, you'll understand something different. That's what's so wonderful. It's fresh every time.
Correct. And that's the way return works. It's that you're returning quantum, you've already done 5,000 super cycles. Each super cycle is 34 trillion zeros. That's a lot of time. And you have subconscious memories of how to do that. It's that simple. And so do you get better each day? Of course. So, because you remember more.
Great. Thank you.
Peter, I have a question.
Go ahead, Diane.
Okay. This has not bothered me, but I've had questions about this for quite some time. When we are communicating, process of talking, writing, typing, whatever, we're engaging the brain. How is that done any different when we become quantum? In other words, we're using our brain to formulate thoughts and words and whatever. It may be something that our magnificence told us we need to write, but we're still processing using the brain. Is that true?
Do you know how the tug of war is on the website?
Yes.
That's the tug of war between your quantum, who's eventually going to win, and your mind, thought, brain, conscious.
I guess I'm just saying that when you write something, you as being quantum master, when you write something, you have to type, or you formulate, maybe write it longhand, or you're thinking it. I know you're knowing, the knowing part of it is what you know, and you're communicating that. But when you're communicating, you're physiologically using the brain. And that's where I get confused. Like I'm saying, are we not supposed to be using our brain when it's a synapses thing with your DNA? And so that part of it must not be a consideration. It just must be either it's a thought only, but it doesn't matter that you're using your brain to convey it.
It's mastery. Think of mastery. Do you want your quantum magnificence or your mind brain conscious? Who do you want as the master?
Who do you what?
Who do you want as the master?
Oh, I want the magnificence, of course.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter that our brain has to actually work to. Does anybody else understand what I'm asking?
Diane, Joy, I understand what you're asking. And Peter, look at the website. Look at everything, all the information that he has articulated. That's coming from his magnificence in quantum singularity. So your focus is being quantum, returning to quantum. His focus is being a quantum master, but he is using whatever he needs to put the information out there, but it's still quantum because he's a quantum master, just using what he needs to. So it's a matter of focus.
So that's the difference. It doesn't matter the fact that you're actually doing the same action. It's what you're actually conveying.
Well, his focus, everything Peter does, and he has said this, very minimally does he use his consciousness to communicate. And when he does, it's with pre-quantum people. So he still has to navigate in a world where he is the only quantum master right now.
Okay, that's the difference. That's what I needed to qualify. He's doing that just because he's trying to convey or share with us what he wants us to process and practice.
It's your choice. It's not, I mean, that's his choice. That's what he's choosing to do and the tools he's using to express that. But
right.
we are in this physical form to be, so it's about being able to master all of it. It's not that we don't want to have the ability to do these things. It's the way that we're focused and how we're using it. Is that correct, Peter?
Totally correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
The way
Would it also be focus and flow?
Pardon me?
Would it also be focus and flow?
Focus is our navigation tool to quantum.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
So when you want to focus on that first 5,000 supercycles, you use one word: focus. You don't use your ego. You don't use the trickster. You don't use anything but that word, focus. And that is what's focused. That's your question. And the answer is your navigation tool for the first 5,000 supercycles, where we had consciousness, awareness, whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
Beyond magnificent, even.
Yeah.
Before multiples.
Focus is the tool for the first 5,000 supercycles.
To paraphrase what Jilly was sharing, Diane, it's about not analyzing anything. It's about flow focus and flow with it. When you start to overanalyze anything, you're in the tug of war at that point. So-
Thank you, Noreen.
And
You
the
got it,
other reminder on the calls, do not go beyond the stuff on the YouTube channel, because everything in the past is going to slow you down, not accelerate you. So,
Okay.
yeah, and Peter, we have a brand new guest here, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Peter.
She's coming in right now. Here she is at the bottom, Peter.
Elizabeth.
Friend of Diana, Lee, and myself. Welcome, Elizabeth. Yay.
Hi, welcome, Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Yay.
Welcome.
Nice to
Welcome,
meet you.
Elizabeth.
Welcome.
Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, so very neat. We have some very good people
I
join.
haven't found her yet.
Second page.
Very bottom, second page. You have to flip to page 2. All right.
Bottom
My
right.
page. So I'm
You
gonna.
know, the arrow on the right, 1 of 2 and 2 of 2.
I have 31 participants.
Peter, on the right side of your screen, middle, is the arrow for the second page.
Click on that.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
How are you, Elizabeth?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, I love that.
So, did you just come on?
Yes.
I just jumped on, yes.
Okay. Well,
Elizabeth's been trying to get here for the last month, but it's been a little extra crazy. So she said, whenever you can get on, so she's coming to say hello.
Yay, Elizabeth.
Yay.
Hey, you're fun.
Yay.
How many are on the call now, Noreen?
It's just
31.
31.
Yay.
We lost some. I think.
Noreen, this is Donna.
Huh?
Can I ask you to repeat what you said about not listening to which calls?
Anything beyond October of 2018. Only the FaceTime calls and some of the audio only calls that are on YouTube. Every other archive you got from Dennis or anybody else is a waste of time at this point, especially the ones going back to 2014. So,
Oh, okay. So you say anything from October 2018 on the FaceTime calls
yes.
is okay to listen. Okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstood what you said.
Yeah,
All right.
not
Thank you.
anything older than that. Otherwise, it would be on the website.
Right.
So, can I just share 2 things?
Please.
Diane Joy, first of all, some of us are in the same situation often. We don't know, we are confused to what to do. And what I've learned through these years of practice is whenever there's a doubt and you don't have an instant answer, is that you just need to practice and focus a little bit more on that issue. And if it's a non-issue, it will just vanish, disappear. And if it has potential for growth, you will eventually get an aha moment and everything will be clearer. So is the practicing and the moving forward without fear that will get you eventually all the answers you need. But it takes practice, and it takes yourself, your uniqueness and your readiness, and everything will get to you. So just that's what I feel it happens when you practice the quantum part. The second thing is, Peter, I feel I have to thank you for the vaccination issue, because what I'm feeling is that you have made it so much easier for us and everybody else through quantum entanglement. We can get to everybody else to get a clearer view of this subject, the vaccination subject, the COVID. So, and I'm really, Peter, you are you, I know, and you did what you had to do, and it was major, the way you share it, and the non-biased way that you embrace things, and so some of those things are so important and so confusing to the rest of us and everybody else. So I really have to thank you and Nell for taking that initiative that for me personally, and I'm not so fearful of the vaccination, but for me personally, I feel that it cleared a lot of the air around of that subject. So much less fear is involved now for everybody. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Nuno. And for those of you that don't know, Nuno is Christopher Columbus. So
Columbus.
He is a discoverer.
Yeah, and I'm really happy to.
So am I.
For now, am I discovering quantum with all of you? It really makes me happy in a way that, you know, and this call also, this is with the third thing, I'll be really quick about it. I feel that the monthly change is already acting upon us, because I feel this call is already different because of that change also. So great things will happen in the next month for all of us, and the next call will be even greater and amazing.
Yeah, I share that, you know. I've been watching everybody. For example, Stephen has all sorts of questions. I've seen them on his face. Stephen, do you have anything you would like to ask?
Well, thank you everyone for sharing, but I've just been talking to my magnificence and getting truths and, you know, just answering my own questions. But when I heard you say that we're going to be moving to monthly, it was like, I felt so excited, and like, it was such an opportunity, like a guided opportunity to really focus. So thank you. But I mean, the main question I was asking myself was, last time, or I rewatched the call from the 31st, and you talked about the healing ships. And what I got was, it's all based on our readiness, and that it was like silly to ask a question, but my, you know, non-quantum part was like, oh man, this sounds awesome. When can we go? Noreen, are you going to send a message with an address? We all show up, or? But
with the link to go.
Exactly.
So most likely Mr. Trump will beat the ships, you know. You can go the med beds next year.
Stephen, for those that you don't know, Stephen is a former tennis player, professional. Stephen currently runs a restaurant offering others really healthy stuff, food. And Stephen is the youngest in our group. He's 29. The oldest in our group is Harry, who's 89. That's a span of 60 years.
Yes, and he's still trying to get on the call.
Yeah, and his background, his professional background is technical. So
That was before computers, Peter. Computers
Yeah,
around and communications changed.
but he's more analog oriented.
Yeah.
yes, yeah, because he learned a lot of what he knows before digital became
Yeah.
core memory that came out of MIT, Jay Forrester. Systems dynamics also came out of MIT. System dynamics is rates and levels and triggers and fit. And MIT is all over the Many of One website. And it's been validated by MIT. So that's Stephen, 29, Harry, 89, 60 years, MIT validation.
We have the bookends and there are all kinds in the middle, you know. What was the average age? Judy was 65 or something? Judy's gone.
Yes, it's 65, around 65, because we don't know the years of birth for a few people. It's around 65.
Retirees, yeah.
So,
Peter?
yes.
I also want to offer my thank you to you for what you did with the vaccine, because I do not plan to get a vaccine, but my son and my other son, I have two sons, they are getting the vaccine, and one feels very strongly about getting it. And I just really had to practice letting go and calling in my quantum strength, knowing that His magnificence would be his guide, because it brought up fear for me, knowing that he was going to do this and mess with his RNA, DNA.
Right.
But I just kept practicing and holding to the truth that of his self-choice. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, Dr. D. Something to keep in mind is we shapeshift, right? In certain experience, we shapeshift. We change our DNA, RNA every time we do that. So some of us, depending on the culture and depending on current knowledge, do that stuff regularly. The Indians, for example, American Indians. So as we broaden what we remember, we change our views. So my point is, a vaccine, what's wrong with vaccines? Well, a lot of vaccines have junk in them. So can we process that junk, or can't we? Well, ask your magnificence. It's that simple. My point is, every one of us knows how to know. We have the sensitivity to recognize something new. And we learned that we have to balance it before no gets bigger. So no new balance, no new balance. And what do you have out of that? You have personal growth. You have collective growth in those areas. So every one of you has that. Now, what tool, in just one word, and Diana, you can't answer it. What's the one tool, one word, 5 letters that you all have?
Focus.
And exactly, focus. And that's how you navigate. You don't use ego. You don't even use magnificence. We didn't have magnificence yet. You have one 5-letter word,
And
focus.
focus, it takes you right home to quantum. Right, Peter?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And
That's
Peter,
why I
you're
said
not
that.
saying that everyone should do the vaccine either. You're telling everyone we all have our own choice. We check in with our magnificence, and that'll determine whether you should get a vaccine or whether you shouldn't. It's not because Peter took it that we should all take it. It's that he checked in and he knew the vaccine that he took would be safe and did not have junk in it. So anyone considering doing that vaccine needs to check in with your magnificence. Is that vaccine you're taking safe? Some of them may not be. So you have to always check in and focus your magnificence to make that choice. That's what he's trying to tell us all, is we all are unique. We all need to focus on our magnificence and what is right for us. So check on that before, just because Peter did it doesn't mean that you should do it. You need to check. Each one has to check for themselves.
Check your magnificence.
Yes.
Just
Respo-
saying.
Thank
So
you, Lee.
You're welcome.
Responsibility.
And everybody
Oh,
that
in quantum, we take full responsibility for life. We blame everything, which is nothing. We
Pe-
accept everything.
Peter, in this case, we can use focus. I see focus in my knowing. I can transmute anything I want. We focus because it will connect me directly with my magnificence. I'm here to experience this life many thousand million years around. However, if I focus, I have the knowing that I can transmute anything in my body, because I have the knowing that I can connect that with my magnificence. That is my 100% plus my one that is right here. That's the way I see it myself.
Yeah, I agree. Mine, I see it the same way.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna play the game, odds are still in your favor because 70% may be placebos, just water and sugar. So there's only 30% that may be real vaccines.
Yeah, it will be what I focus and what I believe in that moment that I'm going to act, really, right? It's what I'm allowing myself to believe.
In my process, my cons were, what will everybody think? Well, think, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
My wife, whose name in this life is Nell, is Benjamin Franklin.
Mm.
And she's the one that said to me, well, it can't bother you. That's all she said.
That's funny.
She got you there.
Yeah.
So you were going to prove to her that it was
great.
That is
And so I decided she's right.
She took away your hidden spots.
Yeah.
You couldn't hide.
Well,
Let me tell you that the family was mind boggled that he got the vaccine. My siblings, we were like, Mom, way to go.
yeah, and
It's really a rope a
she
dope.
asked me
Yes.
for the vaccine. She said, "Well, why'd you do it?" I said, "You." Letters.
Your
I call it.
Nell
rope-
is your teammate, so you are.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're a team.
It's been for 1,000 super cycles.
So
Yeah.
so it's okay that she leads sometime.
Absolutely.
They are
There-
wonderful together.
Thank you.
They are,
Thank
you are
you.
wonderful together. You really are.
So
Thank you.
Peter, I always think about you, how,
We are at hour and a half, Peter, so,
Ooh.
okay.
Peter,
who would like to talk me sick?
Peter, I just want to say something that I was thinking about it. How beautiful is our experience in life and our magnificence, because all the work that you did as Nikola Tesla past life, and you had to be alone, and then to be able to bring to humanity all the technology that we need for this moment. And now you have the reward with your beautiful families. It's like amazing how, combine, the balance up and down. And,
Yes.
it's wonderful. I was thinking about that. It was like, that's what's amazing how our experience is. We had to do a job in one moment and then we had the reward in the other moment. It's amazing. I'm really grateful for that you did. It's like having the reward of what you did before.
In a way, there are two words that summarize everything. And those two words are balance and
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah, right. Yes,
And
wonderful.
thinking, Hermina.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no thinking. When you get to thinking, you're already off balance.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Peter, and thank you all for an awesome
Very
call. It's a great start to our
Yes,
2021.
So are there any other questions?
Going once,
Right.
going twice.
Going three.
It's a wrap. Yay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for the
Thank
support
you, everyone.
and the message from
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you, Peter.
Peter.
Thank you.
Bye,
everyone.
Wendy. Bye, Wendy.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Good
Nuno.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Love you, Dad.
Bye,
Love
Judy.
you.
Oh, belated happy birthday, Alfred.
Ciao, Bella.
I love you
Happy New
all.
Year. Happy New Year to
And
everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Keep laughing.
Yes, Happy New Year. Thank you.
We need to
Happy-
keep on